Hello my lovely prince and princesses, and welcome to another storytime video. Quick apology that my background for most of my videos have been the same, but I have way too much clutter going on where I can't really set up a little area to record. There's just so much stuff that I have that I'm going through, so the backdrop's kind of staying the same for just a little bit. So today's video is going to be how me and Miss Heartless Girl both basically just got kicked out of an area for shooting for pretty much no reason. Like, very, very rudely. So, like every other storytime video that I've done, here's a little bit of backstory. Basically, I really needed to do a personal shoot for some individual photos of a cosplay that I put together. And I put together the cosplay for one of my first years at Katsucon for a Fate group, but I really was just filling in as like a placeholder because they needed the character and I didn't really know anything about the series. So I did like a bunch of research and like read a lot into her backstory, but it is Assassin of Black or Jack the Ripper from Fate Apocrypha. So just for a little context, this little picture right here, this is the cosplay. This is what I was wearing when I went to the shoot. So I contacted my friend, Miss Heartless Girl, and I was like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while and I also kind of want to do a photo shoot. Would you like to be my photographer for this shoot? It's for this character and this outfit. I don't really know where to go because I don't know very many like nice places in Michigan. I only know of a few and most of them didn't really have like a large like area or large setup that I really wanted for this shoot. And she's like, oh yeah, I would love to help you. It'd be so nice to see you. And I really wanted to go back to this one place and shoot. And I think it's a really good area and it's free to get in and all this stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, sure, let's do that. And she like sent me photos of a photo shoot that she had done there before. And it was really, really pretty. It was really cool. And I was like, okay, it's not that far from either of us. Let's go. So we planned out a day, we met up and we went there. So when we got there, we were driving in and there is this like little hut stand type thing, like information booth that was near the entrance. And there was somebody in there and they stopped us as we were driving in and said, oh, it's gonna be this much money to get in. And I'm thinking, oh, okay. I thought that the place was like free to get in because it was like a public area, but I guess it like cost money to get in. And Miss Heartless Girl was very confused. She was like, there's never been a fee to get in, but okay, here's like the money. And it wasn't like $20, it wasn't anything crazy, but it was still like, oh, that's kind of weird. Especially for Miss Heartless Girl because she had done photo shoots there before and she had been there before and there had never been a fee to get in. So after we did that, we parked, I got out all my stuff and we started walking up the road from the parking lot to where like the buildings in the area was. Essentially, it had a really, really big, gorgeous garden full of flowers and it had really nice looking brick buildings and there were pillars and walkways like through kind of like a wooded-esque area, and it was just like a large building and large like garden type location that was very, very nice. And when we walked over there, I was like, oh my god, this place is gorgeous, this is beautiful, I'm so excited for this. Thank you so much for like telling me about this location. I can't wait to come here again. And when I saw the pillars, I was like, oh my god, it looks like the Moon Kingdom. It reminded me so much of the Moon Kingdom, and I'm like, I need to come back here when I actually have like my Princess Serenity costume someday, dream costume. We weren't even there for like a full 10 minutes. We started shooting at like this door, like this really big door with like flowers and pots and stuff. And then after that, we kind of like walked a little bit over to where the pillars were. And this was all in like the same little area. Like we were just in like the first area that you basically just walk into. And the pillars were like right next to where like the door was because the building kind of went like curved and then there were pillars. And I was also looking down at the garden too and I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to shoot down there. And I was so excited. And we weren't even there for 10 minutes when something happened. We were shooting, and out of nowhere, I don't know where this lady came from. I didn't see her come out of a building. She just kind of appeared out of nowhere and was walking like she had a mission, like she was going somewhere and she had to be there now. But she wasn't going anywhere. She was walking up to us. And she was like furious. Like, we were completely caught off guard when this woman came up to us. And she comes up and says, "You can't be here. You can't be taking photos here. I have a bride that's coming here in about 2 hours. There's a wedding going on here in 2 hours. And you guys need to leave or I'm gonna call security right now." And we were completely caught off guard, completely thrown for a loop. Especially Michelle, who had been there before and had never had an issue with recording. We also weren't touching anything. Like, I hadn't touched any of the foliage, any of the flowers. We hadn't gone in and out of the building. We didn't open any of the doors that were there, like the big door that we were taking pictures in front of. Like, I was a good couple feet away from the door taking photos. We didn't go outside. We also didn't talk to anybody, and since it was a public area, we had already seen people like walking through the pathway that kind of like looked at us like, what's going on over there? But they kept walking, like we hadn't even talked to anybody. And we were just so caught off guard. So we looked at her and we're like, okay, we are just taking photos, like we're not gonna be here that long. And then she's like, "Oh no, you guys need to leave. You have to have a permit to take photos here. You can't just come in and take photos. You need to leave. I'm gonna call security. I'm gonna call them and you need to leave right now." And me and Michelle are both the type of people where if somebody just starts yelling at us or like telling us that we're breaking the rules or just any kind of like, you're doing something wrong, we kind of like panic. Oh my God, what's happening? What are we doing? Oh my God, I don't know what to say right now. And we just kept like apologizing, saying, "Oh, we're sorry. We're just taking photos. We haven't touched anything. We're not gonna be here very long." And Michelle's like, "I had never heard of ever having to pay to get in, let alone pay to have to like take photos here. I've been here before and taken photos." And this lady suddenly changes her story and says, "I already called security. Security's on their way. I called them. You guys need to leave. You have to have a permit to shoot here. You have to like pay for this and blah, 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 blah." And she's still just so angry for like no reason. Like, she could not approach us in the worst way possible, like any worse than how she was already approaching us, other than like, you know, screaming at the top of her lungs, which she wasn't, but so both of us are just like freaked out, not knowing what to do, and we're like, okay, we're leaving. Like, we're leaving right now. So we're walking down the road and Michelle is just super confused, and I was too, but I wasn't the one that had been there before. And in my head I was thinking, oh my God, what if we just went down to the garden area first and then came upwards? Maybe we wouldn't have even seen this lady. Maybe she wouldn't have seen us, and maybe we would have gotten more photos. Maybe we would have just had a better experience, or like she would have complained or saw us when we were already like leaving or like halfway done with our shoot. So we would have had like more photos and wouldn't be caught off guard so quickly within 10 minutes of being at this location. So we're walking down the road and we're both very confused. Michelle more than I, because she's like, "I don't understand why she had to be so rude to us. I don't understand why I have to have a permit to shoot here. It's never been a problem. I've never had anybody say anything to me. And on top of that, coming in and having to pay a fee to come in, this doesn't make any sense." And like, even with the wedding that this lady was like saying that was gonna happen and that we had to leave because of the wedding and because of the bride coming, that still didn't make any sense why it would cost money to get in, and still wouldn't make any sense why we would need a permit to shoot there if she's been shooting there and has been to that location before, and none of those things have been a problem before or like existed before. So we were leaving, we walked all the way down to the road and we walked back to the information hut, and we were both talking to the lady that was in there, and Michelle's like, I have never been so rudely talked to like that for no reason. She was just yelling at me that I had to leave and that security was going to take us away, and I've never had to pay to come in. I've never heard of a photographer permit. I've been here before, and like she was just so visibly like upset, and I was too. Like we were both just super upset and caught off guard. Like we're both the type of people that if that kind of situation just happens for no reason, especially because we weren't doing anything wrong, which is like the weirdest thing ever, when you're just standing there doing something that, you know, is allowed, and then someone comes and tells you that you're not doing something right or that you're doing something wrong, you're visibly gonna be upset because you're confused. And like, yeah, we were both just very upset talking to the information lady in this little hut by parking. And the lady's like, oh, I'm so sorry that happened. I don't know. I've just been working here, like, you know, making people pay to get in. And on top of that, I like have never heard anything about photography specifically here, but you can check our website. I'm sure there's information like about it on our website. So we got in the car and we were about to leave when we were both just calming down from the incident because we were very shaken. And at that point, we both decided, okay, well, we need to find another location to shoot because, like, you know, we drove all the way here and I put on this whole costume and everything. We might as well go find somewhere else to shoot. So what we did is we actually just like walked down the road to other buildings in that area that also like had the similar look and feel. They weren't as nice, obviously, because they didn't have like a giant garden or walkways or anything like that, but it was still like very brick and like old school type of buildings that were very beautiful. So basically we just left this little like park type area and walked down to these other buildings that I think one of them was like a college related building or a school, and then just random buildings. I had no idea what they were, but they definitely weren't anybody's like houses. But we just took pictures on the side of the road up against brick walls and in these little corners taking photos, and we still got some really nice photos, but we were like still very caught off guard that we had to just leave that location because this lady started freaking out. And I gotta say it now, remember my outfit that I was wearing, there's fruit flies in here, that outfit was very revealing. And I feel like that lady saw us walking in and just freaked the fuck out that this person, me, was basically in underwear and thigh highs and taking photos with like just a weird outfit on that was revealing. And I think that's why this lady just freaked out. And I bet she was dealing with major stress from like this bride who sounded like, based on what she was saying, like was just super, super picky about everything. And that she felt like this bride, if she saw me, was gonna freak out just because I'm in like fucking underwear in her location for a wedding or blah, 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 blah. I just feel like that was the main reason that she just flipped out on us, because I was in a skimpy type outfit, but I was wearing tights and the thigh highs came almost all the way up to like the bottoms I was wearing, and the bottoms that I were wearing were like thick swimsuit material as well. So even though I was revealing, I was still covered up in a sense. Either way, I still got some really beautiful photos, but the story doesn't end there. We left, we got food, we hung out, we parted ways, and then she went home, and when she got home, she emailed them, and she looked like on the location's website. And on the location's website, it said nothing about like just going in and doing a quick shoot type of thing, like basically what we were doing. We weren't doing anything professional like for magazines or some fancy website or a clothing line or a wedding. Like we weren't doing any of that. We were just two people having fun. So the website basically only talked about like commercial photography and wedding photography and stuff like that. And she emailed them and still got like a response about, oh, you have to have a photography permit to take photos here. and that it was some crazy amount of money, like it was $1,000 or more for this fucking permit to take photos at this location, but it was like all wedding related photos and stuff like that for people who charge money. And she wasn't doing that. Like, we were going there not for a wedding, not for any of that type of photography. And she had been there before. I have to keep saying this so you guys know, like, she had been there before and this had never been an issue. And they said that through the email too, that she had to have like a permit, and that like they also apologized for the way, I think, if I remember correctly, that they also kind of apologized for the way that the lady like yelled at us, because she mentioned that like the lady was just really, really rude and kicked us off the property. Without actually having like a normal conversation with us or anything like that. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the people said that they were sorry for the way the lady yelled at us, but that we still needed a permit and it was crazy expensive. Either way, she kind of warned her photography friends to not go there from what our like from our treatment and the stuff that they told us. But what's funny is recently, within the last month, I saw someone who went there for a video shoot and recorded, and it was for cosplay, and it wasn't like a super revealing costume, but it was still like, it was Wonder Woman, but it was still like something that they would probably say something about, like you need to leave or photography or anything, but I guess they went there and recorded no problem. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of my story time. Neither of us, I think, have tried to go there since then to do any photos, and it's been a few years. I want to go there again though, like not in cosplay or something super casual that you can't really tell is cosplay, and see if I will get in trouble for taking photos, just to see if it would happen again. Because if I'm in a different outfit, I feel like no one would say anything. Or if there's not a wedding going on, a lady wouldn't freak out on us. So yeah, that's the end of my story time. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you think down below, and let me know if you guys have ever had an experience similar to this when it comes to either getting kicked out of a location area for like no good reason, like we were, or just having a really bad experience with going somewhere for a photo shoot. Let me know in the comments down below. So don't forget to follow me on my other pages, and don't forget to follow Miss Heartless Girl as well. She is a wonderfully sweet person and she does such cute cosplays. So make sure you follow her too, and I will see you guys later. Mwah. Bye! Oh, quick note, I almost forgot, I do have merch for you guys, so if you like my channel and you really like pastels and you like the fact that everything is royalty, you can buy one of these shirts. You can even buy it as a sticker or a mug or a hoodie or a dress. There's a lot of options on Redbubble, but there's a link down below if you would like to buy some royalty merch. And if you do, make sure that you post it on Twitter or on Instagram and like tag me so that way I can see it. And I will see you guys later. Bye!